In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 fascinating facts regarding the shelled sovereign that is the Daimyo Hermitaur, a returning carapacian within Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Hey everyone, Corna Pinoy X here once again, and welcome to the first episode of 5 facts about the monsters introduced within Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, where we explore 5 fascinating pieces of information regarding all of the monsters introduced within this expansion that you might not know about. In today's episode, we're going to explore a returning carapacian within Sunbreak that is the Daimyo Hermitaur. We're going to take a look at 5 facts regarding the Daimyo Hermitaur that covers the lore, ecology, and anatomy of the monster. Here are 5 facts about the Daimyo Hermitaur, the shelled sovereign, a returning carapacian within Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. The juvenile stages of the Daimyo Hermitaur can be observed in the wild as the carapacian, simply called Hermitaur. Despite their small stature, these juveniles generally tend to be defensive of their territory, often unearthing themselves in order to claw would-be intruders. Such as the origin of their name, these hermit crabs would move from shell to shell once they've outgrown their previous accommodation, continuously growing in scale and roaming different coastal or desert regions in order to find a new home and a place of feeding. Once they've grown to their full size, they take on a more docile behavior, often ignoring passerbys and would only be aggressive when provoked. However, due to the events surrounding Sunbreak, it seems that the Daimyo Hermitaur species may be more on edge than usual, sensing danger even when unprovoked by hunters in their natural habitat. When these monsters grow to their full size, they accommodate wyvern skulls as their home. These skulls originate from the flying wyvern known as the Monoblos, a grounded flying wyvern known for its drill-like nasal horn and its ability to dig underground, similar to its two-horned cousin, the Diablos. As the Daimyo Hermitaur grows in size, it searches for the largest possible skull it can accommodate, and more often than not, the Monoblos skull found on a Daimyo Hermitaur is usually far larger than the head of a living Monoblos, which may indicate that if a Monoblos is left in the wild undisturbed, they can grow into larger sizes not normally seen by hunters. Once they pass away, their skulls are large enough to accommodate a fully grown Daimyo Hermitaur, showcasing the sheer size of the Monoblos before it became the home of the shelled sovereign. Many hunters will have already experienced the big, meaty claws of the Daimyo Hermitaur and how it can be used as an impenetrable shield by the shelled sovereign. These claws are renowned for their sheer sturdiness that they can be considered as materials to fortify castles, showcasing their hardened properties. When forged into armor, the different materials carved from a Daimyo Hermitaur can be designed into an armor set that bestows a stalwart defense, further enforcing the hardened properties of the monster's claws and by extension its other body parts. Outside of these hardened materials, however, the Hermitaur species as a whole are heavily valued for one particular part of their body, their brains. Many people seek the brains of the Hermitaur species as they are considered to be a delicacy by many gourmands across the world. During the events of Sunbreak, the Daimyo Hermitaur and the Hermitaur species as a whole began migrating to regions it's not normally seen in. The first Daimyo Hermitaur discovered to be migrating outside of its region was found within Shrine Ruins, a mountainous region far different from the coastal beachside or the sandy soils of the desert that the monster is normally found in. As the investigation continued, Master Tsushi proclaims that an apex monster didn't drive away the Daimyo Hermitaur from its habitat, but rather a different kind of threat, showcasing that a Daimyo Hermitaur will only force itself to leave its natural habitat under extreme circumstances and would adapt to new lands out of necessity to avoid dangerous situations. When the Shelled Sovereign is confident in defending itself against certain threats, these monsters will return to their natural habitat and can be seen exploring the beachside areas of the jungle as well as the desert dunes of the sandy plains. However, this doesn't mean that it will instantly relocate back to its original environment. Some Hermitaurs and Daimyo Hermitaurs would instead continue to thrive in their new environment and would continue to live in these regions unless circumstances change and they are yet again driven away from their current ecological location. And finally, let's talk etymology. The name Daimyo Hermitaur is fairly straightforward in terms of its overall origin, as the words themselves are common even in modern times. The word daimyo originates from Japan and is considered as a powerful lord or magnate who ruled over Japan between the 10th and 19th century under a shogun and emperor. The term daimyo also means great name, and these large carapaceons have definitely earned their moniker given their sheer size, especially when compared to the juvenile individuals. The word Hermitaur, on the other hand, comes from the word hermit, which is an individual who prefers to live in solitude, a behavior preferred by the Daimyo Hermitaur. It also originates from the inspiration of the monster's design, the hermit crab, crustaceans which roam coastal regions in search of larger shells for them to accommodate once their old ones become too small for them to use. Overall, the name Daimyo Hermitaur has a fairly simple meaning behind it, with the overall meaning being inspired by a mixture of historic positions of power along with real-life creatures which also inspired the monster's general design. And that, everyone, is 5 facts about the Daimyo Hermitaur, the Shelled Sovereign, a returning carapaceon within Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Hopefully you found this information fascinating and learned more about this particular monster returning within the Sunbreak expansion. What do you think about the Daimyo Hermitaur within Sunbreak? Let us know in the comments below your overall thoughts and opinions regarding this particular monster returning within the expansion. And as always, if you enjoyed these videos, please consider hitting the like on the video itself and subscribing to the channel as well as hitting that bell icon so you can go ahead and catch up on any other content that I might be doing in future. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Onward and upward.